Go.
All right, Live For You crew, what up? This is Tim, and on the line is Tom. We are going to be talking about how to get started with a new client or new potential clients, how to set them up powerfully, and things to say and really important parts of a wellness profile. I've been doing the business for actually 2 years and 2 days on Friday, and Tom has about 2.5 years in the business as well. And Tom's going to go ahead and jump right into it and talk about how to set up a client powerfully.
All right, everybody. So starting off, the things I want to talk about is when you first meet someone and you're getting ready to discuss with them setting up a wellness profile, it's very important that you front load the conversation. So just like with this, when we open the talk, we gave you a little synopsis of what we're going to talk about. It's important to let them know what to expect from you so that there aren't a lot of surprises. Obviously, there's going to be, you don't want to go through a wellness profile or dump information on them, but you want to give them an indication of what to expect when they start with you. Basically, it's a deep connection prior to making the appointment for a wellness profile. When they have strength. So the more time you put in up front, the less resistance you'll get later. And you definitely don't want to chase them. So if someone's shied away by what you're saying, it's no problem. You're happy to meet them. You'd love to have them out for a workout, but you don't need to force anyone into anything. We provide massive value to everyone. You definitely want to keep from feeling desperate or seeming desperate because you don't need to. We have a lot of value we provide, and we definitely have something for everyone. So in your first conversation, what you're saying is that you want to set it up by saying, we're going to make some agreements, and I'm going to determine whether you're serious. If no, you don't need to mention this, but you should know that if someone's not serious, it's not a big deal. You just answer their questions. You ask them if they'll keep attending your events, but it may just not be best for you to work together with them. And then you want to mention to them that after we've decided if we're serious or not, we'll go through what we call a wellness evaluation. I'll explain to you how to get results and how to keep getting results. And then I really like a line that we got from Khalil, Blakey, the one who came up with this method. He says, I'm going to teach you how to fish. As opposed to giving you a fish, I'm going to teach you how to fish. So I'm going to teach you how to do it for yourself rather than giving you what should I say? Rather than giving you something, I'm going to teach you how to do something. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. So you want to set a meeting up for them. You want to have a couple of windows in mind. And I know most people know this, but you definitely want to come into any conversation you have with someone with a couple of days in mind, because some people are going to be super gung-ho and ready to go. So you definitely want to have a couple of thoughts. I can do this Tuesday at 6. I can do this, Thursday after our fit club at 8. Or I can do it, Saturday at a certain time. And it's always good to pick a day that a couple of times that are going to be kind of diverse rather than I can do it anytime. I can do it 4, 5, or 6 on Tuesday. It's best to have maybe a weekend day when you can do it and a day during the week when you can do it as well. So that people with different schedules, you have an option available for them. So then we're going to get into how to start a wellness profile, and Tim's going to give you a couple of pointers on how to get yourself ready to go into your wellness profile.
All right, so a couple things that I like to do before I do a wellness profile is, one, listen to some kind of personal development that is going to get me amped. Something that's going to get me fired up to get this person fired up for them getting amazing results. So Jim Rohn, Eric Thomas, Les Brown are some really great ones. Also, I like to rethink about like where I was when I first started and think about the change that Herbalife has made for me. So when I'm really connected with my journey and my results, that helps me out a lot. So I can look at my before and after photo, and I also like to look at before and after photos of past clients to really remind myself of like what I get to do for that person and the service that I'm really actually about to provide. So that helps me build up my confidence a lot before I go into a wellness profile or before I even talk to a client, and I'm just on fire when I talk to them. So that's how I like to prepare, and I like to also have a sheet of paper always ready, something to take notes on, whether it's a wellness profile sheet or just a notebook book, something like that. That usually works out pretty well. Back to you, Tom, please.
All right. So now I'm going to go over how to begin your wellness profile. So when you first meet them, you want to spend some time just getting to know them as a person. And obviously this whole business and life is about building rapport with the people you meet. So once you have a conversation going, you've maybe asked them how their day was and had a conversation about anything that you can come up with or that they want to talk about. It's really good to know to know who the person is before you really get into the nitty gritty of the business. But then the way that I like to start is you're going to ask them if they're willing and tell them that this is the part, like we discussed when I met you or when we set up the wellness profile, where we go through the agreements. So this is for you to know, this is an all or nothing thing. You want to put it into your own words, but you want them to know that this is to work with me. These are my requirements because I have a lot of clients that I want to help. And this is how I know I can get you massive results. So the agreements will be listed and we'll post the document with with this video, but I want everyone to know the agreements and kind of how you phrase it. So I'm going to quickly walk through them all. So those agreements are, do you know how to cook, bake, steam, and boil? And if they say no, not a problem. Are you willing to learn? And that's always something that you could teach, and you could even teach by YouTube video. So if you're concerned about it because you don't know that well, there's millions of cooking YouTube videos you can watch that will take you step by step on how to do all of those things. Next is, will you go home today, clean out your pantry, and take a picture of it before you clean it out and after you clean it out, getting rid of all processed food in the process. This is very important, and this is where you start to build that commitment level with your clients after the wellness profile is when they're sending you these things. So after that, and after each one of these statements, you definitely want to ask them if they agree. So you want them to, if they actually say, I agree, it's building the message in their head that that it's an agreement you've made, not just with themselves, or not just with you, but with themselves. They've agreed. They said they agreed. Then will you take photos of all your food for the next 2 days? And I know that this can get a little laborious for you as a coach, but you're best off to have this. You're going to build massive rapport with someone when you get a picture of them every couple of hours for the first 2 days, because it's going to start a conversation every time you talk to someone. Even if they want to Snapchat it to you, they want to, send it to you on WhatsApp or on Facebook, or they just want to collect them all throughout the day because they're working and they can't send photos and then send them to you at the end of the day. It gives you a chance to really have a good, deep conversation about what's going on in their life at the time. I was busy, so I didn't have my snack. Well, no problem, but let's talk about what snack options we can give you, things like that. Then do you agree to get the proper amount of rest and drink the proper amount of water? And you need to be able to have those numbers. It's definitely something you can look up. On average, you want to be drinking most people want to be drinking at least a gallon or more of water a day, and you want to be sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night. Obviously, each person's a little bit different, and there's tons of resources as well online about sleep, rest, and water drinking. If you want a little bit of deeper explanation on why those numbers happen, or more specific numbers of exactly what each person needs. And then after they finish the pantry, you want to ask them if they're willing to take a before picture set. So it's going to be 3 pictures, front, back, and side. And that you got to make sure they're appropriate. So you want to explain to them what an appropriate before and after picture is. And then will you agree to play tennis? When I say tennis, I mean communication. And I'm reading these exactly as they come off the list. If I reach out to you, you get back to me. I send it, you send it back. It's a volley, and trust is built through honest, prompt response. So if someone's going to have a problem at a certain time of day or something, this would be the opportunity for them to say, yes, I really want to do this. I want to communicate with you, but during these hours of the day when I'm working, or I work at, a job where my hours are flexible, so I'm not always able to respond. They can explain that to you. So you can really have that already built in when you go to send them a message, knowing when abouts they're going to be working and when to expect a prompt response and when to expect, maybe a little bit more delayed response. And then the last agreement is, do you agree to document your journey as you get results? So you want to know that they're going to be willing to step up and say, this is what I'm doing and this is how I got results, because having that commitment to share with the people around them will help to hold them accountable, not necessarily through people actually saying, you're doing this wrong type of a holding them accountable, but just knowing that other people know what you're doing helps you to stay accountable to yourself. So that said, I'm going to turn it back over to Tim, and he's going to go over some important points about how you do a wellness profile that most people may not know.
Awesome. Yeah. So a big thing with the system that we're talking about is confidence. You have to have confidence. To tell somebody to straight up clean out their pantry, you need confidence. So that's going to go back to doing the personal development and, just really stand firm and be strong with it and just be confident as a coach and know that you're going to get better results. So I want to go into a couple of things about the wellness evaluation. So we all have the same sheet, wellness evaluation sheet. We'll go ahead and post that up with the breakdown of the whole system that we're talking about. And along with that wellness evaluation sheet, I'm going to include a document that we actually created almost a year ago, breaking down the different points of the wellness eval and things that you should maybe include in your speech or like the way you say things, and really understanding why we ask these questions. So the first thing that we will ask them, this is after you had all the agreements made with them, they're 100% in, you talk about their goals, like what are their health and fitness goals. And with this, you want to make sure they're really specific. So if they want to be a specific weight, a specific size, pant size, dress size, if they want to reach a certain mile time or be able to do a certain amount of push-ups, it needs to be a very specific number. If they want to be able to do 100 push-ups or do a mile in 6 minutes, and then when do they want to reach that by? And that's very important with the goals. Just for somebody to say they just want to lose weight or they just want to gain weight and not attach a number to it, it's not enough. Like, you need to dig for more. Next, and this is probably the most important part of the wellness evaluation, in my opinion, and that is figuring out why. Why do they want to lose weight? Why is that important to them? And I'm just going to go ahead and read this verbatim from this document. This is their why. Having a why is important because it gives you a reason and a meaning behind their goals. It gives them a solid foundation of working towards their goals. There needs to be an emotional connection behind this. If they say, I want to look good in a bikini, okay, great, but why do they want to look good in a bikini? This is when they start to truly open up and start to make a real connection with them. So there's a couple of reasons why this is important. First off, as a coach, it's important to know what fires somebody up. Like, if they are, really emotionally connected to their goal, whether it's like they have, health issues that run in their family and they just want to try and avoid them as much as possible, that's important. Like, you need to know that, because when they start to sway, from the program or anything like that, you can just mention that one point and just, really dig into it. And you want to know why, because it's just going to help you connect with them so much better on a whole new level. When you're, working with a client, one of the biggest things is you want to build that relationship, and knowing why is going to help you guys bond. You never know, like, your why might be very similar to them, or you can figure out, you can maybe connect them with somebody else that's a part of our team and have them build a relationship that way, because it's not just about building a connection with you, it's building a connection with at least 5 other people that's a part of this team as well. That's what's going to help, keep them a part of this business, this team, and this community that much longer. So the next thing I like to ask is, what's the biggest challenge you face when trying to achieve these goals? And this might actually come out before, when you're, talking about the agreements. You find out things that have stopped them from reaching this goal before. Whether, if it's a fitness goal, was it an injury, and why did you get injured? Were you not stretching, something like that? Or if, it's like the people they hang out with, it just screws up their nutrition. Figuring out what obstacles are going to be coming your way as a coach, and figuring out right then and there, how can we get past those? And that's just going to make it that much easier. And then you can also find out if, they've done stuff in the past that just didn't work for them. Maybe they had an allergy or something. And also, this is a great question to ask if you're not sure if they've used Herbalife before. because this, that opens it up to a whole new conversation of whether, they just got it from online or if they had a coach already. You definitely want to send them back, maintain that Herbalife Gold standard. So it's a great question to ask. You're going to be able to figure out what obstacles they've had and all that. Next, this is going to be right on your sheet. What is your height and weight? Obviously, you need to get a baseline. Figure out where they're at and where they need to go, and that way you can get an idea of whether their goals are actually realistic. So if somebody weighs 300 pounds and they say they want to weigh 200 pounds, next week, you got to scale them back. You help them create a more manageable goal. Next, you want to talk about what they ate today, if it's a little later in the day, or ask them what they ate yesterday. No matter what they say, it's perfect. Okay, awesome. And then from there, once you figure out what they ate, from the time they woke up, when they ate it, how much water they were drinking, what else they were drinking along the way, and it's just really good to figure out like what kind of things they're doing. And if they're doing anything right, make sure you acknowledge that. Compliment them on that. If they were, if they knew to have breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up, make sure you point that out. That like tell them like, oh, that's awesome, that's great, that's a great way to boost your metabolism. First thing in the morning, and so in just with what a nutrition program looks like already, I like to pepper in there just, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, if when you get started, it's gonna be an easy transition for you. You're gonna kill it. Just add those little things in there, just to kind of give them a boost. Give them a little bit of confidence. Let them know like the things that they're doing right are right, and they're doing great. Another thing, ask them what kind of things they're doing to be active. Just because some people are a lot more active than they really realize. And to me, that's absolutely amazing. So knowing if they're on their feet a lot, if they're working out already, if they do sports, anything like that, find out their level of activity and work with them from there. People don't need to, if it's a remote client, they don't have to go to Fit Club all the time. They don't, or they don't have to have a Fit Club. Excuse me. But if there's somebody that hasn't been working out, tell them to walk out the door for 15 minutes and walk right back, and that's a great start. That's more than plenty. And people that already have a great workout routine, just leave it alone. That's it. They already know what they're doing in the gym. They already have their routine. Great. And when it comes to a point where they're maybe like their results stop or something, then you can maybe pepper in some advice and stuff like that. And that's really the basis of the wellness email. Once you get to that point, you ask them what they're eating, what they're doing. That's when you ask them, okay, cool. Do you mind if I break down what a day on a nutrition program looks like for somebody that's trying to, whatever their goal is here? And that way you can get a sense for what you're going to be getting into, and then you can have an idea of whether it will actually work for you. And then once they agree to that, then you can go through, break it down. You have your 2 shakes, your 2 snacks, your healthy meal, maybe another snack, and explaining that they need to eat every 2 to 3 hours and why we eat every 2 to 3 hours. And that's really like the basis of the wellness profile. Once they're like, oh yeah, I can definitely do that. That's when I typically say, okay, great. Based off of everything that we talked about, this is the program that I mapped out for you. And usually for me, it just happens to be the program that I started on: 2 shakes, 2 PDMs, cellulose and tea, and I'm like, it's, however much it is, and then leave it at that, and then see what they say, and ask them how soon they want to get started. And that's basically the gist of the wellness eval. I follow the sheet, the same sheet that we've had for the past 2 years, as long as I've been in the business. And I just keep this other document open just for little tips and make sure I don't leave anything out as I'm going along. So I think next Tom is going to talk about how to set people up for their first 2 weeks.
All right. So, that's where I'm at right now. And remember, if at any point during this process they say, I can't do that, I'm not game for that, I'm not up for that, it's not a problem. You still love on them. You still act like they're your best client. You just let them know it's not best for us to work together at this time. When you do feel like this is more reasonable for you, let me know and we'll get you started. They now know all the information, and you certainly don't want to spend a bunch of time working with people who aren't fully committed, because it makes you more stressed about not getting them results, as well as them more unhappy about having committed some effort but not gotten the results they want. So all that said, if they're a yes, the formula for success, which we all pretty much operate on, is preparation, consistency, commitment. So that's why we have preparation Sundays, and that's why we do weigh-in Wednesdays every Wednesday. And that's why we set up this system as far as building commitment. And so the first part, or the next piece to that commitment, is that they pay you at the time of your wellness profile, but you don't order their products until they have sent you their pics at the end of the night, until they've agreed to everything and sent you their pics of the pantry and their pics of their before pics. And this is another method of making sure that people are committed and that we don't chase after people. You don't want to be bugging people for these things. They should go home, do these things because they're excited to get started. And when they do, then you order their products. If not, it's easy to refund their money. It's much easier to refund their money than to have an upset customer who didn't get the results they were looking for but paid for products. So going forward, you're going to walk them through how the first 2 weeks are going to look like. They're going to send you their food like we talked about. They're going to send you those before pics, and you're going to get them started even though they don't have a plan that day with eating healthier, which is why you want them to send you the pics of their food even when they don't have shakes yet, because they're going to eat a lot more meals than they would when they do have shakes. And if you know they're eating right, then it'll be a lot easier when they have one meal a day to eat to make sure they're eating right. There's a follow-up schedule that Herbalife has given us that's has to do with days 1, 3, I believe 1, 3, 5, 7, and 14. And I typically like to follow that system outside of whatever else I do for normal client follow-up. I know the Cam likes to send out motivational Monday texts, stuff like that. Anything you've got going like that is outside of your normal, of the 1, 3, 5, 7, 14 day follow-up that Herbalife sets out to make sure that clients are getting results. And I always open every call or communication with the client just talking about how they're doing. Not even about products, not how they're doing on their nutrition program necessarily, unless that's what they jump to talking about, but about how they're doing as a person. How's their life going? Like, and if they say something, don't rush into that. You always want to have time. There's a couple more things that Tim wants to add, and then we'll finish this up. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so one thing I just want to add about follow-up is, there's the 1, 3, 7, 9 follow-up program. There's one thing I just want to add is that, just create a follow-up program for whatever works for you. If you know that Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays are like your days where you're more open, get that commitment from your clients to follow up with you on those days. Just create a system that works for you, create a win-win for you and your clients. That way, you guys are both on the same page. It doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other. Just figure out what works for you and have a system. That's the most important thing, is just having a system.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's very important. The other thing that I get I've definitely gotten before is there some kind of a discount? Can I just become a coach right now? And we've already talked a lot about this as a Live For You crew, but we definitely want to stress that we don't give discounts as a company. Herbalife-wide, everyone charges the same price to make it fair and even so that people aren't stealing other people's clients. So we never give discounts. As far as becoming a coach right away, we don't want to put anyone on a path to not be successful. So we always want people to get a result before they become a coach. And since that's the only way to appropriately get a discount, we don't want to push anyone, or allow anyone rather. We want to tell them that they earn it by getting their results. You earn the ability to be a coach by working hard and showing us that you're committed. So then going forward, the last couple of things I want to touch on before we wrap this up is that after 2 weeks, so you've done your follow-up schedule, whatever that happens to be for you, and then at the 2-week point, you're going to ask them to send you an after picture. And if you've been communicating the whole time, you'll have already heard about great results, energy, stamina, probably some weight loss, and any other physical benefit, especially if you've got them on any of the line-specific products, or digestive line or the heart health line. You're going to hear about results coming from those things, and you want to keep track of that with each of your clients. Have some kind of a method of keeping track with each client of what you're talking with them about. Once they've sent you that after picture and you've heard about their results, you want to go ahead and create for them a before and after picture set with the photos they've sent you. So you're going to do the PixArt or Frame Magic, or there's probably 100 different apps for collaging photos together. And if you've got questions about that, pretty much anyone who's been doing this for a while can give you some different choices for apps that you can use. You want to create that photo for them, and of course get their permission first. But remember, you made an agreement at the beginning of your wellness profile that they were going to be willing to document their journey. So it shouldn't be a problem at this point to get an agreement from them to go ahead and post a picture in your team page. And then you're going to request that they also post it on their page. And again, normally people who are this kind of committed are going to be documenting their own journey. They're going to be showing people that they're eating healthy. They're going to be showing people what they've been doing. They've been, upping their workouts, or they've been, changing their methods. And so people are going to be paying somewhat attention to what they're doing. And once you hand them a before and after set already put together, they'll be able to go ahead and post that on their page. And that will help to build their momentum going forward. Momentum is so important in this, and it's going to help them build momentum going forward, giving them both people coming to them and saying, oh my God, you're doing so well as people wondering what they're doing. So all of that said, this is pretty much the system, and we'll go ahead and post both these documents, both the wellness profile document, or all three, I should say, the wellness profile document, the structure document, and the system, which we've been calling the Khalil system, because Khalil Blakey, one of the president's team members in our sideline organization, has set up. And I think that's it at this point. I think that's all I have to say. Tim, do you have anything left? Tim?
No, just be confident and just set people up powerfully. Be confident with it.
Awesome. And that's absolutely right. And you can read this stuff just like it's a script. I mean, we just read a lot and added a couple of points into it, but it's set up in such a way that anyone can do it. So definitely utilize this, and don't feel weird. This will make people feel like you have a system that you're putting them into that will make them give them confidence in you and in Herbalife in general going forward. So that's all from us today. Have a good day. Live for you, crew. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope these documents help you out. Have a wonderful day.